Velkommen til Somali News. I dag har vi formanden for Dansk-Somalisk Ældre- og Handicapforening, Ahmed Mohammed Elmi, med i studiet. Denne her udsendelse vil for det meste være på engelsk. Some Somali diaspora organizations are fighting to strengthen disabled people in Somalia through training, coordination, information sharing, and promotion of human rights, and adoption of appropriate strategies for stimulating people with disabilities to enhance their economic, political, and social development. They want to include disabled people, women and workers, men and children. Their mantras are treat disabled people with dignity, respect, and on the basis of equality. When there are problems in Africa, the people with disabilities will automatically be disproportionately represented. Their numbers are rising due to conflict, malnutrition, and natural disasters. Very few are interested in hearing how sorry people feel for them, how courageous they are for fighting on. People with handicaps are just people who happen to have a disability, which may or may not prevent them from doing the things that we all do. Among those who are handicapped, there are many who use wheelchairs as their primary or exclusive means of mobility. However, large majority of these people are not so lucky. They do not have the tools necessary to survive. There's a tendency to associate disability with disease even when the condition in question is inherited. Many, if not most, people with disabilities are as healthy as most non-disabled people, even though they may walk with sticks or use a wheelchair. I would like to once again welcome Ahmed in the studio. And can you tell us about your personal background?
Thank you very much, Abdul Nasir. And I'm appreciate really to come here today with you. It's very long history really to speak my background. But when I start from 1988, because you know the people, they can see now I'm the disabled who is sitting in the wheelchair. So it's very important to speak how can I come to the disabled person. I grew up in Somalia, South Somalia, and my first job really was mechanic with driver with the UNHCR in Somalia, United Nations Refugee Agency. When I started that job, really, I was 18 years old, very young age, and after 6 years for my first job, I got the car accident in central Somalia. And that accident was very, very bad, really accident with my friend. And I got the problem for my back, and I come for the permanent disabled person sitting with a wheelchair. And later on, it was very hard time, really. I was in hospital, I think more than 15 months, really. And there is no facility. That time I come to disabled, you know, the Somali Civil War would be, you know, the 1988, you know, the most of north in Somalia was civil war, and, you know, the war is there. And, you know, the hospital and everything was not good, really. All the doctors, they got their own private clinic or hospital, or, you know, the public hospital is very limited. Medication or very limited doctor there, and I don't get the, you know, the proper treatment in the hospital. After that time, I was, you know, that when civil war started in 1991, I flew from Mogadishu to South Somalia, Kismayo, and after border with Kenya and Somalia, I was there 8 months later, and I come in Kenya refugee camp, and I will be there for 5 years. And 1995, I come as a refugee in Denmark with my family. And still I'm living in Denmark.
Okay. But how did you start this organization in Denmark?
This organization was started really, the idea with my friends, Somali friends. When I come here in Denmark, you know, really, I don't know where is Denmark really. When I was the refugee coming in Kenya, I'm thinking only to, you know, the USA, Canada, Australia, and something like that. But when I got, you know, the sponsor from the United Nations Refugee Agency, they said, you and your family going to Denmark. This was very surprised really for me. And I don't know where is Denmark. When I come here in Denmark, you know, the language is very difficult for all the, you know, my friends, all the refugees really. And I started for the, you know, the sport school or language school really in 1995. When I come to school, we group, you know, for Somali friends from same background, we need to, when we got the, here, we need to share information about the Denmark, how we live here, because we come the new society, we come the new culture, new environment. We don't know the culture we don't speak the language. So every time when you need something about, you know, the daily life, so you need somebody to express your problem. So we discussed we need have our organization, and I think we was 8 or something like that. So we start in 1996, and from that day, still the organization is living on and work for the disabled people.
Okay, but what are the main goals of your association?
The main goals really for that time was, you know, Denmark is you know, when you don't have organization or somebody to express for your, you know, the daily life, it's very difficult really to live. Individual and the organization or group is very different for the, you know, the Western society. So the goal was really that time we need to cooperate for another disabled organization in Denmark and get the information from them. And when we, for example, every Wednesday afternoon, we have the local library in Aalborg, and every Wednesday afternoon we have meeting to share our, you know, the problem, whether you, what kind of problem you have in your home, school, social service, something. So we collect the problem and we help each other for this person, you know, the Yemayel or what the English.
Yes.
So our goal is to help the disabled people in Denmark that time, really. But you know, the organization is working a lot of different countries in Africa or Europe now.
Okay. So in your point of view, what problems do people with disabilities have both here in Denmark and maybe elsewhere also?
Very good question, really, Abdel. It's very difficult to be the disabled person. You know, I can't explain with person with a disability, but I have the double life. I was not disabled before, and now I'm the disabled, so I can feel what's the difference for the disabled and the non-disabled person. Really, and sometimes. My personally, I said, you know, it's very positive to be the disabled some ways, because when I was very young and you know, the bus for the disabled person, I don't care them. I remember one day I was driving the car, and you know, the very small boy, he's you know, the moving side for the road, and I'm driving the car. I come after him, and you know, I can't explain. It's very hard to him. It's very hot, sunny, and there is no road for the disabled people or even the cycle. So I stop the car and I remove it from the road to the side. Even I don't take him with my car.
He was disabled.
Yeah, he's a disabled, and I don't know even. You know, it's very difficult for the in Africa, for example. It's very difficult for the disabled person.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to be the disabled. Very hard, really. Culture to culture, country to country is different.
Okay. But is there a difference then, being a disabled person in Somalia or in Denmark?
Very different, very different. Here in Denmark, we know the many disabled people in Denmark, politician, musician, teacher, doctor, but Somalia or Africa is very difficult. Is first of all, is very limited access for the public system for the disabled person in most of African country, because when the person come disabled, or even the young children come disabled, they don't have equal opportunity in the country. For example, the school, they don't have the access for the disabled people with a wheelchair or blind or deaf people. They you know, they suffer. They don't have equality for the another children.
Yes, because even though you are disabled, you can still do a lot of things. You can work. You can learn something new.
Absolutely.
You can do a lot of things.
Yes, but the culture and the government, for example, in Africa, for example, Somalia, where we come from, is very difficult. I was traveled many times in Somalia after civil war, and even you can see in Somalia, south to north, south, everywhere in center, even you can see one school for the disabled access in all the Somalia. Even you can see one hospital with a disabled access. Even you can see the public building with the disabled access. You can see even. You know, even the parents for the children, they say you are the disabled, you can't go to school, you have to be home. So they don't get the education same education for non-disabled children in Somalia.
So disabled children can't go to school in Somalia?
No, most of them. Most of them. Yeah. Even for example, for the blind, Somalia, there's no braille education in Somalia. So it's the tiny or something like that.
Yes.
They don't have the blind for the deaf people. They don't have the blind for the blind people. Yeah. There is no legislation for the disabled people in Somalia, for example. The public private hotel, private center, mosques. There is no access. There is no toilet. So you are suffering outside for the people when you are the disabled from Africa. Even Kenya, I was in Kenya many times. It's the same. You can't get the hotel. For example, most of the 5 stars, maybe they have lifts, something like elevator, but they don't have the toilet. They don't have the ramps. They don't have. They build 12 floors and none. There is no lift, and they said, oh, we don't have the access for the disabled. So you are just suffering outside for the building. Okay. It's very hard.
Okay, but what are the obstacles that you have experienced during the deployment process of the association?
Very many really. When we start, the help for the disabled people here in Denmark, the language is very difficult. First of all, it's very difficult. The Danish language is that's my personal opinion. It's very hard really. When you come to new culture, new society, new environment, no friends, no family, and you need to live with the normal person. The system can help you sometimes, and the system is very hard to come through for the system because you don't speak the language. You don't. It's very difficult. But the first thing we was breach of was when we have as an organization, we collected a lot of different information, humanitarian, human rights organization, another association like our organization, they help us many ways really. And for example, the Somali people in here, they like to help the weak, disabled people back home or here. So it's many different things we obstacle really.
Okay. Can you please describe your main activities in Somalia, and which parts of the country do you have any activities at all?
In 1999, I was one of the disabled. This organization is born. I was travel in Somalia, and that time is it's very hard time really in Somalia. You can remember 1999 how situation in Somalia. I was travel from Olbo, Dubai, Djibouti, Berbera, Mogadishu. Sorry, Berbera, Bosaso, Mogadishu. At that time, it's a research for how the disabled people live in Somalia. Because all the international organization was out the country, and there is no, the very strong local organization in Somalia. And it's very hard time, really. That time, I can't explain, and that's what I see in Somalia, really. You have the picture there. I see many different disabled people sitting with, wood, moving hair with,
with the hands.
Yeah, with the hands like this, like this. It's there is no facility for the disabled people at all.
Okay.
And that time I came back with that information. I think it was 2000, and myself that time I was list for 12 person. The very weak 12 person, Somali disabled person, and that time I'm searching for buy them 12 wheelchair myself. Because we don't have the organization to find this material or this equipment for that time. Okay. And I was in Olbo Production School. They have the second-hand wheelchairs there. And I go there and I said, I would like to buy 12 wheelchairs, second-hand wheelchair for them. And Fleming Henson, that time he asked me, why you buy the 12 wheelchair? All your family is disabled? And I said, no. I want to buy my friends for this 12 wheelchair. And how much each one? He said, Elmi, we have the organization called Millefolk Samvik. They send for the second-hand wheelchairs and second-hand crutches to the Africa or Asia or Eastern Europe, something like that. Why you talk to them? And I said, I don't know who we are talking. What's the MS, Millefolk Samvik? What is it? And he called them that time. And I explained them, are you person, individual person or organization? And I say, we are the organization calling DSL Handicap for Any, where you are based in Olbo. So he sent us to an application form, and we asked them one container that time, 20 feet container. And Millefolk Zambi gave us that time 2 container, 20 feet container with the wheelchairs, really. Okay. And it's very hard that time to send 2 containers from Denmark to Somalia. No access. Yes. No access. It's very hard. I have only the information, but there is no organization, local organization. There is no international organization. Everywhere is the war, and there is no access. It's very difficult to explain here. And we reached Mogadishu, 20 feet container from Denmark via Dubai to Mogadishu, and I delivered myself that time, 2001. I was there in 5 months with a bodyguard. I have bodyguard myself that time with the gun and something like that, and with delivery. And still, that people, they remember. When they see me here, they cry because they never realize the disabled person come back here to Somalia and deliver it for this material.
So how many did you deliver so far?
We deliver, I think the wheelchairs was 500, something like that. We collect them, I will use 2 different, the local newspaper to put the name and the organization And the telephone, I say, we have the wheelchair. We are targeting a small, the group for Martini Hospital, Mogadishu. Martini Hospital, what's the veterinary, or what's the, the Somali soldier in come disabled 1979, 78, the war with Somalia and Ethiopia. Most of them, they live there. And I think it was more than 300 at that time. Women and children and men, if for the community, yeah.
But how do you want to create awareness for the particular problems facing the disabled and vulnerable people, Somali people?
We start already for the awareness for the disabled people in Somali culture. I was really make very different training for the Somali business and the Somali community in many ways. For example, 2004, there's I think we deliver 4 or 5 different training day for the Somali community here in Denmark or another European country. That training called Disability Discrimination Act. The United Kingdom and Denmark and all the Western European country or most of the USA, there is the international convention that protect for the disabled people, and say that convention called person with disability. That's an international convention. Disabled person have the right to live as a normal person, not the second class.
Of course.
Yeah. So the Somali people, they don't know that. They don't know even the convention. What the convention is, they don't know even. When they see the disabled person, they think all back, maybe this person need help. They even don't know this person can do something with the community. The Somali culture is like that, but the reality is not. It's not like that really. I know a lot of disabled people, Somali disabled people, is very active than the non-disabled person. Really, I know them myself. I'm the disabled. And I'm delivering, really, Somalia, more than 25 containers with the different things, medicine, disabled equipment, hospital, even food. So I'm the disabled. So the Somali culture is very hard, really, for the disabled people. Even the children, they can't understand the disabled person. They only they ask you, what's happening for you? Maybe you need some help or something like that, or see the Somali politician. Have you never seen a disabled person in Somali politician? No, you can't see. You can't see. Because the politician, they say, oh, you are the disabled. Stop there. You can do nothing with the country or with the culture. Stop there.
Okay, but how do you want to create, many people with disabilities need help, as you say, in Somalia. But what is your call to the Danish society?
We need Somalia, new Danska. We are the new Danska. We need to help the Danish society to open that bridge. We need the break for that very, very hard culture. Even it's not only Somali, it's not only all the African continent, they have this issue, this problem for the disabled people. So we need the human rights organization. We have, we have the Barshim Human Rights Organization, Human Rights Watch. Every year we deliver the report for the disabled people. The report for the disabled people. Every 10 years, Human Rights Watch, they list for 10 countries. Asia, Africa, or Europe. The worst for the human right or worst for the disabled people country. They list it. And we deliver that list for the different, the organization, different community in our Somali community. And this work really, there's a lot of young disabled people now is very active as a human right person or very disabled activist. So we need a Danish society to help us break that bridge. A disabled people can do nothing. I know a lot of disabled Danish person here do many different things for the community, and even politicians, even the Danish handicap forbund. I know many of them. They help for the outside Denmark, and we need to like that. We need to as a new Danish to help that people back home in Somalia, and we need the Danish government to help us, or back up for that organization.
Yes, I didn't know that actually those who are handicapped couldn't go to school, but that seems that it's really bad, because they are already handicapped, but they can learn a lot of things. They can do a lot of things. There are a lot of jobs relating to you can do office, you can be in the bank, you can be there are a lot of jobs you can do even though you are disabled with wheelchair. You can. So I think it's really good if you make some awareness about this and make the other organizations aware that this is a problem and they need to at least let the handicaps into the schools, to the school system, because then they can learn something and then they can contribute to the society.
Yes.
But what is your plan for the future?
I would like to tell you one story, Abdel Nasser. You know, in 2001, I helped myself, one guy that called Abdullah Hassan. Abdullah Hassan, he's living in Mogadishu, and he's very active, really. He's a disabled. And that time, when I delivered the wheelchair, his family bring there with the plastic, the plastic chair, plastic chair. Yes. The fair person, the fair person with him, and plastic chair. He come the disabled, that time he was in the high school. I think the last year for the high school he was that time. When he come there, he lost everything for his future, for his mind. He was nothing there. When we delivered the wheelchair, Abdullah Hassan go to the school and finish for the last year, and now he's finished for university. He's the leader for Disability Center in Mogadishu.
Okay, that's really good. We have to wrap up, but jeg vil gerne sige tak til Ahmed Mohammed Elmi for at komme her, og det var alt for denne gang fra Somali News.